Please permit me to observe the existing protocols due to time, to give the citation of our very keynote speaker for the day, in the person of Professor Felicia Anuma. Professor Ma, please can we have you stand? Okay. Thank you. Felicia Anuma is a professor of medicine, endocrinology, and diabetology. She is a member of the West African College of Physicians. Okay, and pause so that you can be seen properly. Thank you, Ma. Okay, I start again. Felicia Anuma is a professor of medicine, endocrinology, and diabetology. She is a member of the West African College of Physicians and a fellow of the following colleges that I will be listing: Medical College of Physicians of Nigeria, Medical College of Emergency Medicine of Nigeria, Endocrine and Metabolism Society of Nigeria, American College of Endocrinology, Royal College of Physicians, and a Doctor of Medicine, National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria. Please. The past Dean, Faculty of Clinical Sciences, University of Abuja, from 2018 to 2022, Chairperson, University of Abuja Central Committee on Tertiary Institutions Social Health Insurance Program, 2015 to 2019. She is an external examiner for final medical students in various institutions, as well as Part 1 and Part 2 fellowships of the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria from 2005 till date. She's doing that service. She's a member of the Faculty Board, Internal Medicine, 2010 to 2017, member of the Faculty Board, Emergency Medicine of Nigeria, 2019 till date. Felicia Anuma is an honorary consultant physician and endocrinology, University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, member of the governing board of the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, 2018 till date, member of the Ministerial Committee on Diabetes Awareness and Care Project in Nigeria, 2018 to 2021, member of the technical team, National Guideline on the Prevention, Control, and Management of Diabetes mellitus, 2018 to 2022, member of the technical team, Multi-Sectoral Action Plan on the Prevention, Control, and Management of Non-Communicable Diseases in Nigeria, 2018 to 2025. Commissioner for NCDI Poverty Commission Nigeria, hosted by the Harvard Medical School Program, Global NCDS, and Social Change from 2021, a member of the Technical Working Group for Non-Communicable Diseases in Nigeria. She's also a member of the Technical Planning and Implementation Committee of World Health Organization NCD STEP Survey in Nigeria 2018 till date, and consultant to World Health Organization on non-communicable diseases. She serves as editor-in-chief of our prestigious journal, AGEM. Yes, please. Thank you. And her research spans across diabetes prevention. She's very passionate about that. Anybody who knows her knows that. Hyperglycemic emergencies and diabetic foot disease. She has presented well over 100 peer-reviewed abstracts at national and international conferences and published over 60 articles in peer-reviewed journals. The author of 5 books, Food and Lifestyle Diseases, a focus on diabetes and hypertension, and a lead author on diabetes food for Nigeria, Food Care Guide for Persons with Diabetes. So she's also lifting the burden of diabetes by empowering people with these books. She's currently the president, Diabetic Food Nigeria Initiative, board member, Pan-African Diabetes Food Study Group, and Nigerian representative, The Food International. Felicia Anuma has a diabetes and endocrine center built and commissioned by the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Mrs. Aisha Buhari, the first of its kind in Nigeria, named Professor Felicia Anuma Diabetes and Endocrine Center at the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital in 2021. She is passionate about prevention of lifestyle diseases, especially diabetes and hypertension. The chairperson of a non-governmental organization named Mark Anuma Medical Missions. Ladies and gentlemen, please can we make a big round of applause for the keynote speaker of the day. Thank you, ma'am.
The Honorable Minister of Health, ably represented by the Chief Medical Director, Lagos University Teaching Hospital. I'm a product of Luth. I did my residency in Luth. The wife of the Ogun State Governor, the First Lady of Ogun State, the representative of the First Lady of Lagos State, the chairman of the occasion, who is my teacher and my examiner. He examined me at part 2. The president of EMSON, the chair of the LOC, Professor Remosu, Dr. Samuel, our MC, doing it so beautifully. Of course, when you put a lady in charge, you expect something beautiful. I want to thank EMSON for asking me to be the note speaker for this conference. Like the chairman said, I joined EMSON in the late 90s when there were just 10 or 12 members. Professor Erege is here, she's aware of that. Okay, so my topic is obesity, and I decided to name it a time bomb in Nigeria. Okay, so I'm going to go quickly through this. Introduction to obesity, the obesity epidemic, reasons for increasing prevalence of obesity, how do we assess obesity in simple terms, then implications of obesity, findings from studies in the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja, and then public health response and policies and conclusion. Sorry. What is obesity? It's an abnormal or excess fat accumulation that impairs health. In simple terms, that's what it is. So, fat accumulation is an unused resource in your body. It has no use in today's scenario at all. Yes, we have some traditional concepts that puts obesity as a high premium, actually. If you are, it's an evidence that, you know, you are living well. So to say, if you are a female, you are married, it's an evidence that your husband is able to, you know, is up to it, and so on. But medically speaking, it has no advantage of any sort. Nothing but a reason to be overweight and be unhealthy. Sedentary behavior encourages weight gain. And increasing childhood obesity leads to adulthood obesity, and of course, these people end up with all the NCDs that we are talking about. Yes. The ladies here, when we are young, you know, single girls and, you know, bouncing around, we are like this. When we get married, we have to show evidence that, you know, we are married and life is good. Then we gradually begin to graduate, and especially when we have children, and then finally we end up here. And the female, the wife, also has to show that she's capable of taking care of this man. If not, he goes home and, you know, his family members will ask him, What's happening to you? Are you sure this woman is able to take care of you? Then eventually, both the husband and the wife become like this, and the next thing is diabetes, hypertension, cancer, and so on. The fat cell, this is the fat cell, is the most dangerous cell in the body. You can see the fat accumulated there. That's the fat reservoir. So this cell usually is small when you are slim, but as weight is coming, you're accumulating fat, then these cells begin to enlarge. Now, I said it's the most dangerous cell in the body, and this is the reason, because of all this that comes out of the fat cell. Worldwide obesity epidemic. In 2016, 1.9 billion adults, 18 years and above, were overweight, and of these, 650 million were obese. 39% of adults aged 18 years and above were overweight in 2016, and 13% were obese. Over 340 million children and adolescents aged 5 to 19 years were overweight or obese as of 2016. 39 million children under the age of 5 were overweight or obese in 2020. I know we have a culture in Nigeria, when we see, we call them chubby babies. People love them. But you see, I'm usually not excited when I see them, because if they don't get rid of that fat, that child is in trouble, heading for trouble, in the very near future. In Africa, the number of overweight under 5 years has increased by 50% since year 2000. 11% of African children is expected to be overweight by 2025, which is very close by. Childhood obesity is increasing worldwide and has become a major public health problem. Overweight and obesity in children in Nigeria. What have we found? UNICEF reported in 2019 that overweight and obesity among children in Nigeria increased by 6% in 2 years, just in 2 years. Adeleye et al. Found the prevalence of adolescent obesity in a state in southwest Nigeria to be 1% in 2011. But a repeat study in that same state in 2022 showed a prevalence of 12.8%. Ben Bassi and colleagues in Etiosa, LGA, in Lagos in 2007 found obesity among the children to be 3.7. But you know what? Adeni in the same Lagos studied 440 school children in 2019 and found overweight 6.6% and obesity 8.9%. Eze et al. In 2017 found a prevalence of obesity of 10.7 among school children in Enugu. So it's not restricted to any geopolitical zone. And we did a study in the Federal Capital Territory, and we reported 32.9% of adolescents studied were either overweight or obese. In adults in Nigeria, a systematic review by Adeloye et al. In 2020 showed a pooled prevalence rate of overweight and obesity to be 25% and 14.3%. There are 21 million and 12 million overweight and obese persons in the Nigerian population, aged 15 years and above in 2020. Overweight was found in 27.2% and obesity in 14.4% of urban dwellers compared to rural dwellers, 16.4% and 12.1% respectively. Females were more overweight and obese to 25.5% and 19.8% as compared to males. We did a screening of University of Abuja staff in 2019, and this was what we found. 438 staff of the university were screened. 63.2% were males and 36.8% were females. 3.9% were known, patients with diabetes and hypertension. But using a BMI, 25.9% of them were overweight and 15.6% of them were obese, and about 6% had morbid obesity. Using waist circumference, abdominal obesity was found in males in 32.6% and in females 68.8%. The reasons for the increasing prevalence of obesity, what's the problem? Globalization and urbanization have led to global market integration, which facilitates a shift in food culture and convergence in consumption habits. What we did, we got civilized, we shifted from the African or Nigerian healthy diet for the civilized diet, and so we began to acquire all the problems of civilization, obesity inclusive. In this nutrition transition, there's overconsumption of foods high in fats, in sugar, salt, sweeteners, cheap, energy-dense, and micronutrient-deficient foods in developing countries, of course, including Nigeria. Excessive consumption of media, increasing sedentary lifestyle, and reduction in energy expenditure has become predominant, resulting in childhood overweight and obesity. The consequence of all this is an energy imbalance between calories consumed and calories expended. So overweight or obesity is simple economics. When our input is more than our expenditure, we have an imbalance that settles as fat. Dietary factors as independent obesity risk factors, of course, what is the characteristic of the fat that we take in? How much whole grains or cereal, how much fibers? The dairy products, are they, whole or they are skimmed? The glycemic index or the glycemic load of the food, of course, the Western diet, and the fast food that we love so much. Nigerians love convenience, and therefore fast food is very convenient, so we love it a lot. Soda intake and alcohol intake. Now, WHO report, 5 of the top 10 risk factors for global disease burden identified by the WHO: hypertension, high cholesterol, low intake of fruits and vegetables, high BMI, physical inactivity. These factors independently and in combination are the major causes of NCDs, and food is a major part of this. I got this from a restaurant, and I was told that people can actually finish 2 portions. So I took the picture just to prove a point. Okay, so we love this thing so much. And normally at every meeting, this is what we have. And yet we are talking about obesity. We are talking about, overweight and the consequences. So I'm assuming we won't have this here. Sorry. Okay, so we can see this. These are the things we love so much. And of course, the environment is not helpful in being physically active outside your home. We are very familiar with this kind of picture. And we know in our environment where we are encouraging people to be physically active, you can be trying to do some exercise on the road, and either a motorbike or something will hit you. Assessment of obesity. Very simple, we can, with these simple measures, the stadiometer for height, the weight, the tape for waist circumference, and of course, the caliper for skin fold. I just felt we are familiar with this, but value of the waist circumference. We know that we can have patients or people who have normal BMI, but the waist circumference is abnormal, and we know that the most sensitive clinical index of insulin resistance is the waist circumference. So it is, in our environment, it's an evidence of good living. But it's an evidence of slow death, actually. So we have to be very mindful. And then the weight accumulated here is more dangerous than the weight, that we have in the hip and... Okay. So implications of childhood obesity. Studies have shown that obesity in children and adolescents can track into adulthood with all its consequences. So the major challenge is that these children, they become vulnerable to pathologies previously not seen in children. Okay, previously just in adults, our children are beginning to present with diabetes, with hypertension, with dyslipidemia, with cardiovascular disease, and resulting in premature death, all from fat accumulation. Overweight and obese children, they are 2 to 4 times more likely to have hypertension or heart disease than children of normal weight. Obese people have an incidence of hypertension that is 5 times the incidence amongst people of normal weight. 1 billion people had hypertension in 2000, and 1.56 billion are expected to have hypertension in the very close 2025. diabetes is 3 to 7 times more likely in the overweight or obese than in people with normal weight. Using the BMI, the prevalence of adults with diabetes increases with increasing weight class, as small as 8% for normal weight individuals, and then as high as 43% for individuals with obesity class 3. 1.9 million people die as a result of physical activity every year, and 2.7 million people die as a result of low fruit and vegetable consumption. Just to show you that as far back as 1997, we can see the risk of having diabetes if the BMI is 25 to less than 27, 27 to less than 29. That's the risk. And of course, this risk increases as, the BMI increases. This is as far back as 1997, and it is still the story even today. At age 40, obesity reduces life expectancy in females by 7.1 years and in males by 5.8 years. And this is outside diabetes and hypertension. So of course, if there is diabetes, hypertension, then it reduces it further. 2.8 million people die each year as a result of being overweight or obese. Cancer risk increases by 12% in overweight people and as high as 70% in morbid obesity. The burden of these diseases is particularly high in the low and middle income countries like Nigeria. We are all familiar with this. This is many years ago in the US when they found out that obesity was becoming a problem and diabetes, among children was also becoming a problem. These are the medical complications of obesity. There is no organ spared here. You can see the consequences. That's why I said the fat cell is the most dangerous cell in the body. This is a human being. It's not a picture. So it's a time bomb that is about to burst. And that's the situation we have in Nigeria now, as far as I'm concerned. Why do we have to educate? Why advocacy? Because education influences the quality of life of a person and can make a difference between life and death. Prevention of obesity and non-communicable diseases is proven, is possible, and is powerful. My people perish because of lack of knowledge. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. So we need to empower people. We need to do a lot of advocacy and sensitization. Our health and the health of our children, they are our most precious gift. Therefore, we must do everything we can to honor it. Now, the figures I have given, they are just what we know now, and it's just the tip of the iceberg. There's real trouble coming because the present generation of people or young people with overweight and obesity, they are the very next generation of people with NCDs. We did a diabetes prevention study in 20 secondary schools in the Federal Capital Territory for 2 years. These are the teachers. If you look at this, can you imagine, out of 1,000 teachers, only 31% had normal, out of 1,000 teachers. It's a big problem. These are teachers in secondary schools in Abuja, in the FCT. Oh, sorry. Now, this is the relationship between, this is the relationship between, in this 1,000 teachers, this is the relationship between their weight and their systolic blood pressure. You can see, it's just there. That as you are gaining weight and everybody is saying you are living good and you too, you are feeling good that they say you are enjoying, your blood pressure is not just smiling at you. Blood pressure is rising gradually. This is the relationship also between weight and diastolic blood pressure. Now, this is the relationship between the fasting blood sugar and waist circumference. You can see that also, as this place is getting big and they say you are living well, the blood sugar is not sleeping. Blood sugar is also rising. That is why you find out that, 70 or 60, 70% of our diabetes patients are hypertensive. Even if they come normotensive at the beginning, blood pressure will gradually rise. This is among the students. And these students were chosen from GS1 to SS3. So it cuts across all the classes. And you can see here that 20% of them were underweight, of course, but you can see the green, 14% of them were overweight, and 3% had obesity class 1, and 1% had obesity class 2, and so on. So even amongst it, can you believe it, that amongst secondary school children, the highest BMI we got was 45 in the secondary school. You find children in GS1, GS2 weighing 100 kilograms, and that's like 9, 10 years, 11 years. They are weighing 100 kilograms. But the unfortunate thing is that what is in the brain of our parents is that I am affluent, and my child is showcasing my affluence. That's what is in the score of Nigerians. Okay, even amongst the children, it's the same relationship. As the child is adding weight, blood pressure is rising. It's the same thing. So the same thing we found in adults, which we should never have found in children, is what we found in these children. This is also their blood sugar and their, waist circumference. Now, there's something striking here. There's a reason why I brought this. If you look at this, you can see central obesity, you can see between 9 and 15, parents need to do a lot of work. In fact, the work should start before then. Because you can see that between 9 years and 15 years, that's where we have the big challenge. Both among the boys and the girls. Sorry, it's not working again. It's not working. Okay. So if you also look at overweight in these children, you can see that it is the same age group, 9 to 15. Why? What is it that we are doing in these children? That between 9 and 15, they are exhibiting this. Next one. So obesity, it is the same thing. So it's the same pattern all through between 9 and 15 years. Next. Now, these are the kind of children we saw. And it is not about private school, because we looked at both private schools and government school. In fact, okay, this is a private school, but you'll see the one from a government school. These are 9-year-old children. They are in GS1, these children. Next one. This is from a public school. So it's not about being, because, and the issue is this. The reason is that when you visit these schools, during break time, every child is holding a bottle of Coke and a donut. Even when the school is a day school, parents can no longer prepare a healthy food for this child to take to school. It is very easy for us to give them 200 naira. When you get to school, buy a donut, buy a bottle of Coke. That's the reason. Okay, next one. Yes, we actually attempted to develop reference values for waist circumference and waist hip ratios in Nigerian youth 10 to 18, and we published it in Journal of Obesity and Overweight in 2020. Next one. The journal is there online, you can see. We also looked at overweight and obesity and their relationship with glucose dysregulation in the Nigerian youth. Next one. Yes, we also did something on age categorization of overweight and obesity using the waist circumference and waist height ratio and body mass index amongst these children. Next one. Public health response to obesity epidemic. It requires health promotion and health protection, improved awareness and education on obesity and its complications, physical activity, healthful diet, okay, reduced alcohol intake, cessation of tobacco intake, and population-targeted policies. That's what it requires. Now, these are sectors that should be involved in obesity prevention, the health sector. So it is not just, it's not a health thing, because there are so many other factors that contribute. So agriculture, of availability of the right foods, transport, urban planning, environment, food processing, distribution and marketing, and education. Next one. At the individual level, people should limit energy intake from total fats and sugars, increase consumption of fruits and vegetables, legumes, and all that. Engage in regular physical activity. Next one. At the societal level, it is important to support individuals in following the recommendations above through sustained implementation of evidence-based and population-based policies that make regular physical activity and healthier diet choices available, affordable, and accessible to everyone, particularly the poorest individuals. Next one. At the industry level, there's a significant role they can play in promoting healthy diets, ensuring that the fat content, sugar, and all that in processed foods are less, ensuring the healthy and nutritious choices are available, restricting marketing of foods high in this, unhealthy things to children. There is actually a media abuse of children as far as, food advertising is concerned, ensuring the availability of healthy food choices and supporting, regular physical activity in the workplace. The prevention of overweight and obesity, there's a 2030 agenda for sustainable development that has recognized NCDs as a major challenge for sustainable development. As part of the agenda, heads of state and government committed to develop ambitious national response by 2030 to reduce by 1/3 premature mortality from NCDs through prevention and treatment of NCD goals. And these are the policy options to influence obesity risk. Next one. Yes, the National Multi-Sectorial Action Plan for the Prevention and Control of NCDs. This is meant to be in operation from 2019 to 2025, and I was part of this, developing this document. There's a strong evidence to show that obesity is a problem, affects, causes all kinds of things. Next one. Yes, the sugar tax that Dr. Kuku mentioned. What are these sugar-sweetened beverages? We are all familiar with this, and we love them. When you go for a wedding, for example, they fill one person's place with, so many bottles of this for us to take. Next one. Okay. Nigeria is the 4th highest consumer of soft drinks in the world. The 4th highest consumer of soft drinks. Next one. You see the trucks everywhere now. So there is a National Action Sugar Reduction, program going on. It's a coalition of, quite a number of, organizations, and I'm part of that. Okay, so we thank God at least this act was passed December 2021, and actually it has we had a meeting yesterday in Abuja, and it has become operational from July. This year. But the problem is that it is 6.7%. So it's only 10 naira per liter that they are taking now, just 10 naira. But what WHO is saying is it has to be as high as 20% for it to make any impact on health. Next one. So this is part of some of the meetings we had. Next one. Yes, we had this meeting just yesterday, actually, in Abuja on, national sugar reduction. So at least they've introduced that tax now. It's just that the percentage is so small. And what we are trying to do now is to make them, step up that percentage so that it will make a sense. Next one. So soft drink tax to boost Nigeria's fight against obesity and diabetes. It is on, but it's not enough. Next one. Okay, it is possible. I had a 30-year-old male. He loved food and more drink. What he was doing is when he takes breakfast, he had an auntie working in Guinness. So malt was very available at home. He takes breakfast, he takes 2 bottles of malt. Lunch, the same thing. Dinner, the same thing. So he had difficulty in breathing, as at the time I met with him, during mild physical activities. His weight was 115 kg. Waist circumference was 120. Blood pressure, of course, was high. Had counseling on healthful living. He implemented the changes with determination. In 3 months, he lost 15 kilograms. He felt healthier, happy, and motivated to keep healthful diet. Conclusion. Obesity epidemic is being driven by nutritional and demographic transitions, urbanizations, rising income, and unhealthy lifestyle. Yet, it is preventable. Obesity prevention requires a multi-tiered public health response, supportive environments and communities. No, please. Okay. Fundamental in shaping people's choices. Healthier choices should be most accessible, should be available, and should be affordable. Broad population-targeted approaches aimed at food and all that is also very important. Next one. Next. Next. Next, please. We need to change behavior. Let's take small steps today so that we can have big rewards tomorrow. Next slide. This is the center that is being talked about. Thank you very much.
What I know is that if someone has done such, she deserves a standing ovation. Let's honor this woman. Please, we can do better. Well done. Well done. And it's a pride that it is one of us. I'm happy that this is happening this morning. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. Please, let's sit down.